All right, cool. I just started the recording. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Okay, good.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. Okay, so today is going to be our final class. So let's get started today. We're going to wrap up with one final challenge that uses almost everything that we learned from the workshop. Okay, so just a quick overview of all the topics we covered. So the first topic we covered was variables, types, and operators. So we learned about what a variable is. A variable is a container that holds a piece of data point, right? So we have different types of data, which are integers, string, boolean, stuff like that, right? And float for decimals. So we learned about those operators, we learned about addition, subtraction, and then we learned the new operator that may not be as familiar, the modular sign, which is the percentage sign, and that's just a remainder of that number. So if you do 5 divided by 2, the remainder is 1, so it'll output out 1. Okay. Then we learned about lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets. Um, Lists and tuples are basically the same thing. Only difference is that tuples you're not able to edit anything. In lists you can append and stuff like that, but tuples they stay the same. So tuples you can use it for stuff that's not going to be changed, like GPS points, stuff like that that you don't want to be edited. You would create a tuple instead of a list. Okay, the next topic we covered was if, else, match, and loop statements. So if then else, we learned about that. It's basically when the statement inside of the if statement is true, then it's going to do the action underneath. Else, you can also put an else operator when the statement is not true and all other else if statements are not true. Then it's going to do the else since that statement's not going to be true. Then it'll do whatever's in the else. So when all the other statements are false, it'll do else. Else if the first statement is false, like we have an if statement that's false, then we do else if. Then we check another time, is this statement true? If it's not true, it moves on, and if it is true, we run that line of code. Okay, functions. Functions are basically, you can think of variables for pieces of code, so you don't have to rewrite the same thing. Also, you can feed in parameters inside of a function, and parameters, you can use it to adjust the function. So you don't have to hard code everything. Like, let's say you're creating a function to hold a name that prints out, hey, my name is whatever name the user's name is. You can create a function, put in a name parameter inside, and then you can put that name parameter inside of the print statement. And whenever you call this function, all you need to do is put the user's name in there and it'll print out with the user's name. So you don't have to rewrite the entire print line. You can just use the quick little function and type in your name and it'll be able to access it with the parameter. Okay, then we learned about classes and objects. So object is basically everything in Python, almost everything. And when you create a class, you're basically creating an object of it. So when you create a class, it's a skeleton of its skeleton structure. And classes can have inheritance like the tree we learned about. You can have parent class, and then you have your child class. The child class shares the main initialize functions of the parent class, and you can access it through the child class. And the child itself can have its own custom functions that the parent class does not have. Okay. Then we learned about file handling. So that was the stuff we did last time with setting up the VS Code, accessing files, and whenever you access it, you can use with open. If you do with open, it will automatically close the file. You have to always close the files because it wastes its memory storage and all that different stuff. So when you use with open, you have to make sure you do an indent to show what code is inside of it. So that's file handling. And Sudden yesterday was talking about the input and formatting. Okay, so let's get started. That was just a quick little overview. We're gonna go more in depth on this overview topics, but I just wanted to summarize all of the components we learned so far. Any questions? I'll get more in detail in a second, but any questions so far? Okay, great. All right, so variable types and operators. Just like I said before, a variable stores a value using an equal. So the difference between an equal and an equal equal. Does anyone remember? Could anyone answer this? What's the difference between name equals Sam versus name equal Sam?
Name equals Sam is assigning.
Yeah, yeah, good. And what is equal?
Comparing.
Correct. That is exactly right. You're assigning the name to Sam, and if you do one equal, and you're checking if name is actually equal to Sam if you do double equals, and that returns out either a true or a false Boolean statement. All right, good job. Okay, and we have our data types. Can anyone tell me at least one of them up here? What is str, int, float, bool? What is that stuff?
Uh, STR is string,
Mm-hmm.
I is integer,
Mm-hmm.
and what was the next one?
Float.
Float? I believe it was no, def was function.
Okay, think number. What's the difference between integers? What whole numbers, right? So what is float?
Decimals?
Decimals, correct. Okay, good job, good job. What's the last one? Bool. What's bool?
True or false?
Yes, yes. Boolean is true or false. Okay, good, good. Everyone remembers this. All right, so Python is actually really convenient because it figures out the type automatically. In other programming languages, however, you have to explicitly set it a certain value, like a data type. So in Java, you would set it as, let's say I'm storing a number, call number one. Okay, I would have to do integer, write that out, number, that variable name equals one, and then I do the semicolon. That's how you set it in Java. But in Python, it automatically figures it out. Really easy. You don't really have to think about it. You just set it, and you can change the type whatever. In Java, whenever you set a type, you have to like go with the type unless you convert and stuff like that. That's a whole different process. But yeah. All right, cool. Who remembers all these operators here that you're seeing?
One of them is addition.
Yep, yep. We have addition, subtraction. We have the multiplication.
Multiplication.
Yep. We have division. We also have the double ones. Who knows what the double ones mean?
Or division.
Yes, correct. Good. And then we have our percentage, which is the modular, and that returns the what's it called? Remainder. Remainder. That returns the remainder. Okay, cool. All right. On to the next review topic. All right. So, like I mentioned before, lists are ordered. They're changeable and allows duplicates, so you can have duplicate values in it, right? Tuple, however, is ordered and unchangeable. Okay, so those are the rules, and you can't add anything else to a list. I mean, to a tuple, you can't do whatever the tuple is called, right? So how do we create tuples? The tuple, you use the parenthesis sign. That's how you set that it cannot be changed. If you forget that, it's really easy to remember. In math, how do you put your coordinate systems? You put it with parentheses, right? And coordinate systems you can't really change, right? It's not supposed to be changed. So you can think of it that way. So if you think coordinate system, not changeable, you can remember what a tuple is. It's the parentheses. A list, however, is the square brackets. Um, you could just probably memorize that. That's pretty simple. Dictionary, you have the curly braces, and in the curly braces, you're gonna have a key and value pair. The key itself cannot be. It has to be unique. It can't be the same, but the value can be the same. So you can have a key called color, and then you can have another key called color one, but You can't have color key, but you can have value as a red. That's fine. Just the key itself cannot be it. It's used for fast lookups by key. You can use it for a lot of different algorithms, right? In Java, the dictionary thing is called hash maps. So you probably have, if you did Java and stuff, you probably have heard that before. It's the same thing. You can use it for really quick lookups. It just looks through your dictionary and stuff like that. It's really neat. All right. And a set is an unordered and it has contains no duplicates. Okay. All right. We have a if then else statement here, right? Just like I mentioned before, if the condition here is true, right? Let's say we have a variable called age, and the age is 19. Okay, let's look at this code. What does this code do? Execute. What is it? What do you think? Is it going to say adults or minor?
Adult,
Okay, adult. Why?
because the if statement is false since the number is bigger than 18.
So the if statement, you're close. You have the right answer. It's slightly off on the explanation. It's okay. It's okay. We're all learning. But since the
Uh,
if statement is true, yeah, go ahead. You got it. Yeah, go ahead.
um, I think it depends on what age is.
It depends. Okay. I gave an example that age is 19. Now, what is it gonna output?
Oh my God.
No, you're good. You're good.
Then uh it would result in adult.
Okay, and explain.
It's because if we substitute 19 in place of age,
Mm-hmm.
19 is greater than or equal to 18.
Okay, good. What about 18? What if the age is 18?
Well, then it would still be adult because greater than and equal to says if the age is greater than or if it's equal to, and 18 is equal to 18.
Good. All right, great. That is good. All right. Then we have the match case compares a value against pattern, so you can use it for like, uh, you know, week, days, weekends, stuff like that. Then we have our while loop. Who remembers what a while loop is? Come on now. What does a while
A
loop do?
while
Go ahead.
I think a while loop is something that basically repeats something
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
until
yeah,
it's false.
correct. So if I do while true, print one, what is it gonna do?
It's gonna print it true once.
Okay. No. All right. Let's look here. It's okay. You're close. So let me make it a little bit more easier to see. So let's say while age is equal to 17, print one. All right. Let's say age is equal to 17 right now. What is it gonna do? What do you think it's gonna do?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Wait, my bad. It's gonna print one.
Yeah. Correct. Because it's saying as long as this is true, it's gonna print. As soon as age is 16, it's not going to print. But age is 17, so it's going to keep printing. It's going to print forever. Like it won't stop. Like it's going to keep printing until your system says timeout error or something like that. It's just going to stop. Like your system stops because you ran out of resources and stuff like that. Right? So it's going to print for a very long time until it takes up all your resources. Um, as soon as this is not true, then it stops, right? So you can use while loops like this. Let me show you. While age is greater than, let's do less than. While age is less than 16, right? So I'll put 15 here. It's gonna print one, and I'm gonna make it say age minus equals one. So basically, what this is gonna do is it's gonna subtract age parameter one time. So how many times do you think this loop will run? What do you guys think? How many times is it gonna print one?
One.
16. Okay, I'm hearing 1 and 16. Let's see. Okay. Mm, all right. Print. Okay, I'm too lazy to count all this, but I instead will make it do this. Print. Um, create a variable. Temp equals 0, and I'll just make it print temp plus 1. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't mean it like that. Temp plus 1. I'll do it like this, and print temp. That way I'll know what it is. Oh, it needs to be plus equals actually. Okay, let me run that again. Did it print anything? Temp. Oh, because it gets. Wait, what?
It's because it's an infinite loop, I think.
It shouldn't have gone infinite because. All right, let me just explain how this works, right? So right now, oh, I see where you're coming from. Yep, you're right. You're right. It's an infinite loop because it's gonna keep since I'm subtracting age. That's a good point. That was a good catch, actually. Good job. Since it is, I did age minus 1, right? So what that does, it's gonna subtract whatever values inside. Let's say it starts with 15, then it's gonna subtract 1. Keep subtracting 1. It's gonna run forever because it's always gonna be true. Age is always gonna be less than it. If we did plus equals 1, it's only gonna run one time. If we start at 0, yeah, that was a good catch. Good job. Yeah, there we go. 16. Good catch. Good catch. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Does this make sense to everyone? Why this works?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Good catch. All right. Now we have for loops, right? So who remembers for loops? What does for loops do? What can you do with for loops? There's a lot you can do with it.
So for loops repeats for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I would say it's basically a repeat function. But nice thing about for loops in Python is okay. Let's say I have this thing called fruits. Sorry, my brother was calling fruits, and inside of fruits, you have a couple of fruits. Let's say apple, um, orange, cherry. I will just do 3 fruits for now. All right, and then let's say I have. I'll show you 2 ways to write the same thing. So the first way, this is my personal favorite way to do it because like mathematically, it's just easier to visualize it. So for I in range length of fruits for I in range. So what does this do? So it checks for I always remember guys, I always starts at 0, right? It's the index. It starts at 0. Okay? For I in range, range is basically a counter. It goes through whatever number you say. If I said a range 5, I'll start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? Does that make sense? So if I did for range length fruits, what it's doing is it's looking at the length of this. Okay, the length of this is 3. So it's going to go range in 3. So it's going to repeat 3 times. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. then let's just say I want to access this, right? So I'll just print out fruits, and I'm going to print out fruits I. So remember, when you do fruits and you put in a value, let's say the 0th value, it's going to get the first index, right? It's going to say apple. If I get the first value, it's going to say this. If I get the -1 value, it's going to say the last value. If I say -2, it's going to get the second to last. Okay, so does that make sense how we are doing this right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so since I is initially 0, right? It starts up at 0 and it increments by 1. Since it does that, all this is doing is it starts at 1. It starts at, sorry, 0 because you start at index 0. It starts at 0. It prints this. It grabs this and prints that. Then it goes to 1. It looks, okay, which is the first index? Orange. Okay, prints out orange. What's the second index? Okay, cherry. Prints out cherry. Okay, let's just run it and show you. Okay. All right, so the second way to do the same thing is you can directly access it. So let's just, you don't have to call it for fruit. You can call it whatever variable. This is just a variable thing. So for I, I'll just delete this for now so it doesn't confuse it. For I in fruits, print I. And this does the same thing. It directly grabs it. See? That's the nice thing about Python. Python lets you do that. In Java and other languages, you would have to do it a little bit different. Like I could show you how you would do it in Java. You would do like, shoot, it's been a while since I did Java actually. I is equal to 0. I is less than fruits dot length. Forgot it was like this or not, but anyways, you don't really need to know the syntax. So that's how you would do it in Java, the same thing. Honestly, it makes more sense in Java. You can see you're setting I to equal to 0, and then you're making it repeat until I is less than this number, and I is going to keep incrementing. So as soon as I is greater, it's going to stop the code. That's how you would do it in Java. But in Python, it just makes it simple for you, I guess, in this way. All right, cool. Any questions about how we're using for loops?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. I mean, you can do a lot with it, and stuff. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna do a quick practice session. So you guys do a couple of practice examples on your own, and then yeah, using the for loop. Okay. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys get the practice in?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's move on to the next topic. All right. Next, we're gonna go on to functions, right? So you create a function by first writing def and whatever your name of your function is, and then you put the parentheses, and you can leave it blank, like just nothing inside of the parentheses if you're not passing in any parameters, right? And a function, like I mentioned before, is just a reusable block of code. Think of a variable that holds a bunch of code, and you can just reuse it. And if you put parameters, you can adjust it where you don't have to write the code over and over again and just tweak one part. Instead, you can put the parameters and tweak it just by changing one thing. So it makes it very, very simple. Um, so it's really great. So let's do a quick example actually. So let's create a function called bark. Let's call it animal, or I could say sound, actually. Sound, and make it print out. Try to make it print out. and I'll just make it print out whatever sound it makes. Hmm. What should I do? Okay, I'll just do I am this space plus animal plus I make the sound. I make this. I sound like this. Sound like this. Okay, I'm going to create a secondary parameter called sound. So you're able to also add sound parameter. And whenever you call this parameter, right, you just need to make sure whatever the first thing is corresponds with animal, whatever the second thing is corresponds with sound. And if you don't want to pass anything in there, you can just use pass and it won't actually put anything. I'll just leave it blank. But you have to put something. So this is pass is basically like a null statement kind of thing. It's not going to do anything there. It's just going to leave it blank. Let's put animal sound, animal, pig. Make sure you put in quotations because it's string pig. I am a actually let's just do dog. Okay. And you can put the name of the sound, bark. Yeah. I am a dog, I sound like this, bark. So that's how you can use functions. Is anyone confused on here? All right. We just have a couple more topics to review. All right. Next, we're going to be learning about classes, and then yeah, actually, we'll just probably stop at classes. Okay. So the next thing we're going to be doing is classes, and for the class, basically a class is a blueprint or a skeleton, and an object is one instant of it, right? And whenever you create a class, you have to use your first function as a initialize function to set the parameters associated with this class, right? So let me show you. And whenever you create class names for this, you're gonna do a capital class pet, and you do the initialize init, put in a parameter. Always start with self, because that is giving it the keyword. Okay, this initialize is for the class itself. This is going to be associated with the parameters with this class. So you can use it in the code that way too. So self, and let's just call sound again, I guess. What is this actually? Oh, name. It gives name. We can do name. Then we'll do a quick little print. Wait, first, before I print it, I'll just do self dot name is equal to name. Okay, now you're setting the name of it. Then we could create another function called speak. And remember, you have to always pass in the self. That means you're going to be using this name parameter in here. And then you can just use print. Hi, my name is self. Yeah. Pet, and then you can give it your pet name and run it. Oh, wait, before that. Yeah. Okay, first of all, you have to create an object of it. And it's like p1 equals pet. P1 equals, so you have to create, okay, this is different. Okay, now you created a object of it, right? Then all you have to do is do p1.speak like that, and it should work. Tab error, of course. Okay. Takes no arguments. Oh, I did a comma on accident. There we go. Wait, should have been right. Initialize self name, self.name equals name. Def speak self. Okay, let's just try and see if this works. Rex SI. Okay. Self.name. Init. Oh, I forgot to use this probably. Okay. All right. So, yeah, whenever I just made the mistake now, but basically you have to use two initialize, like two underscores whenever you put the initialize. I just put one on accident. But yeah, that's how you create a class. Does this make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right. Let's just. I'll do a quick review on these topics as well. All right. So remember how I mentioned before with the open. So with open automatically closes the file. You don't have to write out f.close. You can just do with open and whatever code is inside. After that code is executed, it'll close the file, save you storage, all that stuff. So personally, I like using the with open. And there's also these keywords, right? Oh, I went back. R, A, W, and X. R is for read, so it just reads it, doesn't do anything. A, W is to write. A is to append. That means you add on to it. W is to write. You can overwrite it too. And X, if the file does exist, it doesn't write anything. It gives you an error. But write, the W, even if the file exists, it's going to overwrite it. Does that make sense to everyone how this works?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then we have the read and read line, so it pulls text out of a file. And os dot. Okay, you use import os. So if you do import os, it's gonna use your system's library stuff now. So to remove a file, you have to use this import os, and os directly that library will pull from your system and delete it. So if you do os dot remove and whatever the file name is, it'll delete the file. And os dot path exists. We'll check if that path exists first. Okay, and then we have this input thing. Basically, you can do this keyword called input, and you can put whatever you're you're asking right in here. So like in this case, it would be your name, and then you can put like a variable. You don't have to do a variable, but you can, and you can just print hi, my name is, and do this, and it'll. Let me show you what this says. Let's see what it does. Just back. Oh right. It's you can't